When you see the Lord move in that way, there is a sense of purpose that's bigger than, I don't know how many records you can sell, whatever the metric of the music industry is, that it's the metric of the kingdom, which is backwards, really, you know?
We're Big Daddy Weave, and this is our CCM Spotlight.
We've been doing this for 26 years now. And there's been multiple times, especially for me over the last handful of years, where it just felt like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. And then just a few months ago, Jesus gave me a brand new heart. I'm so excited to still be here and so thankful that these guys have walked with me through this whole thing, man. Our label, man, the folks at Curb, walking with us through that season, but then giving us space to like kind of process the things that we had been through in like losing family members and the loss of a bandmate, all of that, it affected every single part of it.
Yeah, obviously there were deadlines that happened way earlier that we just kind of blew through because we weren't ready. It wasn't at a spot where we could feel good about it from even a song standpoint, having everything there that we needed, or just finishing the record. And so it was just part of the process. We're thankful that they support us through it. And we're very thankful.
And then as we're walking through the season of grief and writing these songs that are coming out of life, we've got this whole record full of grief songs, and we're like, dude, if we put that record out, we're gonna kill somebody from just grief songs, you know what I mean? And so we had to wait a minute for the Lord to just bring new life as well. And then you can tell when the new life kind of arrived. There's these songs that really hurt, but I still think in a hopeful way. Mm-hmm. But then there's a new season that is beginning and sort of emerges out of the latter part of the record making progress,
J-Dog never really talked about what he was going through ever. But it was Grundy, our front of house guy, who let me know the gravity of things in his health, in his life, the loss of their family. And that's what caused me to reach out and say, hey, dude, like, I'm so sorry you're dealing, man, because he was always like, how can I pray for you, bro? What's going on? Always just so giving. And he was one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. Not just with finances, but with his time and with his prayers and just being there. And so I reached out to Grundy to say hey, and he told me how bad it was with Jay's health. And that's what Lord put in my heart to reach out and say, bro, if you need me to come do this for you. And he took me up on that, and I filled in for him July 4th of 21. And he never came back on the road after that. But he told me a few days after that, he's like, Rowdy, thank you so much for doing that. He's like, the Lord gave me a vision, and he set a table out for me. And he told me I just have to learn how to sit at it. And he's like, pray about this, but I know it's a lot, but will you be willing to cover the rest of the year for me? And he's like, there's 1,000 bass players in Nashville who can run circles over me and you put together, but I need somebody who understands the kingdom, the ministry.
We want to do what Jesus wants us to do, and night after night, that's our prayer, it's just getting out and just asking him what he wants to do in the room, There's people that are coming that are really looking for an encounter with Jesus, and it's like we can get up and play a bunch of songs and do all this, but are they meeting with Jesus there? Are their lives being changed?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we just continue to pray for, and to seek.
And it feels like appointments with Jesus too. People who came that they weren't necessarily looking for that, but it was like Jesus knew, and Jesus encountered them. I know, because I've been that guy in that room on more nights than not in a lot of ways, You dragged yourself out there. When you see the Lord move in that way, there is a sense of purpose that's bigger than, I don't know how many records you can sell, whatever the metric of the music industry is, that it's the metric of the kingdom, which is backwards, really, You leave the 99 for the one. And I think if we're looking for the one and we're looking for the one that he'd leave the 99 for, then that's the sense of fulfillment that we find in it today,
It's funny, the Lord has blessed us with the ability to have openers who blow up huge after they tour with us. We've had a lot of people who are really big names open up for our tours, but it's been amazing because One thing, not to give ourselves any credit, but the atmosphere that we present on the road for new artists, I think sometimes it's even their managers and their team's purpose to like, hey, be with these guys to not get things out of whack.
Yeah.
It's easy when, especially some of these artists have blown up huge in a quick amount of time, to be able to see some foundation there that they may not have had in other environments,
Absolutely. That to me is my joy, my greatest joy at this moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we're all dads,
Yeah,
and we have that thing, Big Daddy Weave is like, it's for real. That's for real now, and the next stop is like Granddaddy Weave, you know what I mean? But it's seeing them do really well.
Yeah.
And when you hear Megan Woods, it's her first tour. We've been on like infinity tours where these old like crotchety dudes now or whatever. She comes out there and sings this song, The Truth, and you just see what God's doing with the truth, And it's because everybody hears the lies that she sings about in this song. And man, they need to hear the truth, and it's so beautiful. And then, man, for crying out loud, Ben Fuller out on the road, man, we're just so proud of him. It was revival for me that he was on the road with us. And it just felt like in us that like I didn't know if it could happen anymore, if it could still happen after we've been through what we have been through. And the Lord just going like, yeah, just one day at a time, 1 foot at a time, but with this heart set. I feel like in this season of sort of reinvigoration for us, that it's like we're just looking forward to like, we're like, what are you going to do today? And to look for that, and he does not disappoint, CCM! Thanks for watching our CCM Spotlight. You can find all things Big Daddy Weave at BigDaddyWeave.com. We'll see you on the road.